This is a dramatic story, and the reason I chose this story is because this is the last time I can remember being like really scared, like really terrified. So it was the Christmas Eve of 2004, and I went to visit my best friend. And I've known this guy probably since about preschool. I was born in New York, so we grew up together in New York, and we both moved to Georgia and then to here. So basically, he's a really, really good friend of mine. I've known him all my life. Our dads work for the same company. That's why we moved from state to state together. And on this particular night, I was over at his house for dinner, Christmas Eve dinner. And around the evening time, we decided to go somewhere. I think we decided to go to the store to get something. Can't really remember. But it was right before dinner. And we took his truck, and he decided to take a shortcut down a dirt road. And there was loose sand on the road, so his truck got stuck. Like the wheels were turning, but the truck wasn't going anywhere. And we tried to push it and everything, didn't work. So we ended up having to call his dad. And I have to give you a little bit of background on his dad. His dad is just he's a nice guy, but he's bipolar.
Oh.
And he's a really bad case. He's got a really violent temper. Like at times he's been really violent with his kids. Like just the way he beats them, stuff. Like if the cops knew, he'd probably be in jail. He wouldn't see his kids again. But I mean that was on occasion. By this time we were both about 19 or 20 years old. It had been years since he'd had a real blow up like that. But anyway, we called him, and when he showed up, he was already pretty mad. And this guy, he's like a big guy. He's like 6'4". He's not muscular, but he's like big boned. You know, I've got small bones. I'll admit it. You know? So when he got there, he was already mad. So I was already like a little bit nervous. And then he just started getting more and more angry. And my friend Kenneth, he was trying to calm his dad down, Ken Sr. And his dad was like pacing behind me, getting angrier. And I was just getting so nervous. And I knew this situation was escalating and something was going to happen. And we're out in like the middle of nowhere. So I didn't really know what to do. I knew I wasn't going to get in the way. I didn't know whether to call the cops or what was going to happen. And so Ken Sr., he's just yelling at Kenneth, and he gets in his face, and he puts his hands up, and he says something like, all right, I'm going to make a man out of you now. And he starts stalking Kenneth Jr., my friend. And I'll give you a little background on Kenneth Jr. He's, by this time, we're both out of high school. He played football in high school, so he's pretty strong. He's in good shape and stuff. But he's about my height. His dad's still significantly bigger. And it just, in my mind, it's not going to go well for him because I've seen what his dad has done to him before. And so anyway, his dad, he takes a swing at him, and it was amazing. Kenneth just ducked under, picked his dad up, and slammed him on the ground. And then he got on top of him and just started like punching him in the face. And that was really it. I guess that was it. He got on top of him and he punched him in the face a few times, like probably 3 or 4 times, like really hard. And I don't know if Ken Sr. was knocked out. I think he laid on the ground for a little bit, not moving. So I was kind of worried for a second. But then he got up, and then we went home and we had dinner. And ever since then, they've been pretty close. So I guess the point of the story is violence usually doesn't solve anything, but sometimes it does. All right, so thank you.